Hey folks, my name is Tom Hall. I'm trying to make a little video here and put it out on YouTube. Gosh, I hope it doesn't sound like I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. But I'm doing so with the idea of advocating for people not voting for Donald Trump. If you are undecided to any degree and watching this, I hope you'll hear me out and consider what I and others have to say. In any case, this will not be one of those videos that says, if you are even considering it, that you're crazy, stupid, or whatever. I honestly don't see it that way, but I, at the same time, to be honest about my bias, I'm very strongly against voting for Donald Trump for president. So, for what it's worth, here's some of the reasons that I feel that way, and I'd love for you to mull over if you feel so inclined. Look, the very first one is, I would like you to imagine someone trying to sell you a used car and sounding like Donald Trump when doing so. If you're on a used car lot and somebody is saying to you that only they have the answer for the right car for you to sell, and don't look at those imperfections of this vehicle. No, it's perfect. It's perfect. Oh, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Don't pay any attention to any of the reviews from people who even have worked here and who are saying that I have no business selling cars, that I'm, as it turns out, rather dangerous, and all that. No. This is it's a perfect car. There are no problems with it at all. And if you buy this, it's going to be perfect. Your whole life is going to be so much better if you buy this. What kind of feelings would you have if somebody was selling to you that way, something like a used car? Something, again, along the lines of, gosh, how does this used car make you feel? No, tires, engine. How does this used car make you feel? Go with that feeling. No, Carfax. No. All that stuff is totally fake news. Totally fake news. No. It's a conspiracy that I won't even get into. Look, this car, I mean, you can just look at it. You can just feel that it'd be so wonderful to have it. Everything would be solved if you had this car, and on and on and on. Now, I'm not talking about the parts about the used car salesman suddenly mentioning sharks and batteries and sound of windmills causing cancer and that kind of thing. I'm talking more about, if somebody sells that way, in most circumstances, what is your gut level response? I've grown up in Missouri, and it used to be that people here would maybe chuckle a little bit, turn around, walk off the lot, never bother going back. No brainer. Obviously somebody who is selling way too hard and trying to manipulate your emotions. Consider that the next time that you hear Donald Trump talk. try to think of a used car salesman saying the kinds of things that you're hearing him say, and consider whether or not you would buy a car from that person, much less vote for him for President of the United States of America. Now, the second thing is that issue of feeling that everything could really be all right if you just make X, Y, or Z decision, buying that used car that, boy, the Carfax isn't very good on it, but just ignore that. If I just make that decision, man, things are going to be good. And there's a huge number of people around you saying and feeling the same way. That can be very, very, very powerful. And here's what I'm seeing, very much from the outside, guys. I'm not trying to say I have a deep understanding of whatever. No, but from the outside, here's what it's looking like. I know I can speak for myself here, okay? It feels almost overwhelmingly difficult to just keep up with modern life, the modern world. There are so many things going on. There are so many opinions about all the different things going on. And there are such problems with the information sources about, all those opinions, about all those issues. And so, go back to the used car salesman. Boy, I could do my research. I could look at the Carfax. I could ask other people, including people who've worked here. How reliable is this place? I could do all that. Oh, but you know what? I got to get to work. I've got to go to the grocery store. I've got to do all this stuff. And, it is, you never know. Maybe the car is, okay. I mean, the guy's in business. So, how bad could it be? And, oh, man, just go ahead, and buy it and kind of hope for the best. Not so sure about the other dealerships in town, how much better they are. I'm not going to go through all this. I'm just going to get the car. And hey, you may have had experiences like I have that you've made decisions like that. Again, I'm just speaking for myself. I do not see this as crazy. I do not see it as stupid because it's my best self-interest not to see it that way, because I've done things like this, very definitely. And it can work out. Man, can it not work out as well? And of course, dealing with things, use this analogy, stretch it for all it's worth. With a car, it can all be kind of fun and games until it can end up being something very dangerous to yourself, to your family. Okay. My side of the story is that there have been plenty of times where just going with my feeling, I want to feel this way or that way or the other way. This person is seeing that and they're saying, oh yeah, I definitely have the answer to you feeling that way. Making all the answers just come out no problem. That has not worked out all that well for me, buying into things, a whole lot of times in my life. And it used to be here in Missouri, in the Midwest, man, we would see through that in a millisecond. and not anymore. What I encourage you to do is think this through in this way. Is this something that it makes sense? Oh, it can feel right. Yes, definitely. And there's so many people around you that are even ecstatic that this is the answer. And after this, then things are going to be okay. It's all going to get worked out. It's going to be okay. That's very powerful. It's not crazy. It's not stupid. But boy, is it not a good strategy to run your life by or a country. Okay, that's my opinion. Let's go for one more thing here, and that is this thing about there's all sorts of opinions, all sorts of places. You know, a car dealership. Oh, they're able to trot out 4 or 5 people that, gosh, this is the best place in the world to buy a used car, and etc. And then, of course, these people over here can trot out people who said, man, I bought a car from them and I almost died because it was a complete lemon. Brakes are nice on a car. I wish I'd had decent brakes. There weren't any brakes on that car. You have these people saying this, you have those people saying that, and people trotting everybody out. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now, to me, again, crazy, stupid, I don't think so. Or at least I certainly don't feel that way, because I very much feel that that's an extremely big quandary for me navigating through the world today. Now, my side of the story is I do think that there are still a few things that are reliable enough that they still warrant being, trusting towards certain sources for certain reasons. I'm not going to try and convince you to trust the sources I trust. What I'm going to say instead is, okay, that is the situation. But if there are possibilities that with some more work, you could make a better decision about this, a better decision about a man who John Kelly, Bill Barr, Dick friggin' Cheney, some extremely conservative people. And boy, is that not the end of that list. This huge number of people, a lot of whom have worked with this man, are saying not only probably not a great guy, probably not, really very good this way or that way or the other. No, they're saying, quote, he's unfit, unquote. It seems to me with that, with the convictions in a court of law where there are consequences, there isn't on the lot of a used car salesman, but in a court of law, there are consequences to just making stuff up. And in courts of law, my goodness, the claims have, look, if your team was 0 for 60 or 1 for 61, either one, your team has a problem. Guys, I'm a Washington Commanders fan. Until this year, I kind of know what I'm talking about here. There are problems there. All right? And I think an awful lot of people who are, still a little bit on the fence about Donald Trump fully understand there are some problems there. What I'm suggesting is, even with the difficulty that I agree with you on this, the very great difficulty finding sources of information that feel like they're reliable enough to sway your final decision. Even with that, there are some that are reliable enough that they're worth your time for a decision like this. They're worth your time to investigate. And don't just do the, oh, there's nothing to see here stuff from some news sources. Take a look at those claims, who they're coming from, where they're coming from. So I'm not going to try and convince you to subscribe to The Guardian. I don't think there's necessarily a lot of people who are in that market. Fine. But sources that are very firsthand, folks, very firsthand. Sources that have damning things to say about this man. That's worth paying attention to, even as difficult as it is to get, anything that you have any particularly great confidence is a straight story or straight enough story that you can feel like, okay, I can at least base a good, strong part of my decision on that. If there are sources saying that, I ask you to consider what it's going to be like in the future if you have just finally decided, look, I'm busy. Again, guys, I also very much understand that if you maybe look at the timestamp of when I'm making this video, it's like 5 days before the election itself. So, I most assuredly understand that. Again, crazy, stupid. No, well, I hope not, since no, I share a lot of these feelings with you. But this situation, this decision, I think just calls out for enough thoughtfulness and enough effort that you make some time. And if you've made it to this far in this video, then hey, thank you very sincerely just for your time. I'm bloody serious about that. I would never take that for granted. I've been yammering for a little while here, and I'm going to stop very, very soon. This, of course, is where I normally, according to all the YouTube videos that I've seen, tell you to hit that subscribe. Guys, there isn't anything to subscribe to. I don't have any. I don't do this. There's a video of me juggling an axe and a sword and a torch. Tune in, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. That's not really so. I'm not asking you to buy into my brand. I'm not asking you to go door to door for Kamala Harris. I'm not asking you to subscribe to The Guardian. I'm not asking you to agree with me on supply side economics. What I'm asking you to do is, please, with this decision, give it some time, give it some thought, give it some investigation. And I hope, whatever you end up doing, I hope that you will not vote for Donald Trump for president. But I tell you what else, I wish you the best, whatever you do. Thank you very, very much for listening.